So then, guys, it's finished. Newcastle United 3, Wolves nil. A frustrating afternoon. Probably a performance and an afternoon that we were maybe due, to be honest. Um, because although we've been getting positive results recently, the performances probably haven't quite been there. And the squad is struggling a lot at the moment with fatigue and obviously numbers due to injuries, which you saw in the squad today, which I'll talk about. But first thing I want to say, let's not overreact. Obviously, it was a poor performance by Wolves today, but I think that's just our third defeat in about 14 games. So the level of performance and the results that Wolves have been getting previously are exceeding everybody's expectations. So I think we've just got to give the team a little bit of slack because things like this were bound to happen. Newcastle, very, very tough place to go normally. I know they've been off it, but having a lot of good players return. And ultimately, Wolves has really struggled to get going forward. I'll pop the team up on the screen now. Sort of going back to a similar team to what I expected, but João Gomez out injured, not travelled with the squad, but wasn't in the squad today. Obviously, just wasn't, failed the late fitness test. So Tommy Doyle started centrally, back five as we expected, goalkeeper as we expected, and the front three as well as we expected with Neto, Bellegarde, and Sarabia starting. And first half of the game, both teams, it was end to end really. No one could get control of the ball. Newcastle playing quite deep and sort of quite, allowing Wolves to push higher and higher, which I hate, by the way, because we play our best football on the counter attack, and especially away from home when a team is playing deep and launching counter attacks on you. That made it very, very difficult for Wolves. So I still think that in certain situations we need to adapt to that and be able to, trouble teams with that. I think we would have been again. I think a much better level of performance if the likes of Gomez, Hwang, and Cunha are all fit there, obviously. But I think we still need to figure out a way to do this. This reminded me completely of the West Ham game just before Christmas. That was actually our last defeat away, I believe. Very similar game where West Ham sat deep. Wolves are all right, let's have a lot of the ball. Let's creep forward here. And ultimately, West Ham launched three counter-attacks and beat us fair and square. Today, I felt the Newcastle goals. Obviously, they had a lot more luck. I think luck was on their side today. I don't want to take anything away from their performance because they were very solid defensively. Made it very difficult for Wolves to create anything clear-cut, to be completely honest. We did force Dubravka into some really nice stops in the second half. Nathan Fraser had a good chance, who we'll talk about in a minute. Sarabia had a good chance. He came and claimed some crosses quite well. But the luck was definitely on their side today and how things fell. For them, the first goal, we have an attack of our own, goes down the other end, and I think it falls to Bruno Guimaraes on the left-hand side, crosses it and takes a huge deflection and falls right into the path of Alexander Isak, who heads it home. Totti could maybe be a bit tighter to him for me, but I think it's just fallen absolutely perfectly. And when you got a striker that good, just pretty much with an open goal, he's going to take that opportunity. And 1-0 down, frustrating, but still had full belief and faith that Wolves could fight their way back into the game. Obviously, and unfortunately, I was wrong. Second goal, again, this one, not so much luck. I think Wolves will be very, very disappointed with this one. Ball comes across, Sarr goes to claim it, and for me there, you've got to, and I don't know if it's a misunderstanding between him and Kilman, but for me there, Sarr has got to claim that ball. If you're coming for it, you've got to claim it, you've got to win it, and I think he goes for it. Kilman sort of bumps in his way, and it's fairly straightforward finish then for Anthony Gordon, and takes Newcastle 2-0 up at half time. Really gives Wolves a mountain to climb. Wolves looked so tired, fatigued in that first half. And second half then, we saw some changes. Sarr and Neto both coming off. You would hope that's a precaution. You'd hope nothing serious. Dan Bentley obviously coming on, and Nathan Fraser coming on as well, which is a big opportunity for him. A few more minutes under his belt. Second half was much better. I still feel like we struggled to create much in the final third. I mean, very quickly, I'll see if I can get the possession stats up here, because I would assume Wolves had a decent amount. 56%. I thought it was going to be a lot higher in Wolves' favour, to be honest. So we had 12 shots to Newcastle's 14. So on paper, the game looked fairly even. But just didn't really want to take the risks in the final third. I mean, you could just see we just lacked, at times, that forward who just knows where the back of the net is on a consistent basis, or someone that goes, give me the ball and let me threaten this goalkeeper. We didn't have that enough. I think Bellegarde tried, Sarabia created, Nathan Fraser had one or two opportunities, but you could just see still that little bit of inexperience. I think Tommy Doyle was sloppy at times. Second half he was a lot better than what he was in the first, but really struggled. And I don't know if it was the weather or what the circumstances were, but really struggled to get a foothold on the game, really. And like I said at the start of the video, it's just one to forget. And to sum it up, the goal at the end for Livramento, I think he's done quite well to keep possession, sort of works his way past a couple of players, but then just somehow almost falls over the ball and it ends up into the back of the net past Dan Bentley, who had a very, very quiet second half. He only had to make one other save off the top of my head. So second half performance was much better, but Wolves are desperate for this week's rest now. They've had 3 games in 6 days with such a small squad, a few major injuries. There will be people, I know there'll be people on social media in the comment section saying, well, I told you so, Wolves, stupid, crap recruitment, whatever. But ultimately, let's just try and look at the positive side of things and think, these things happen in football. We weren't going to go the rest of the season unbeaten. We're still within, a very decent position in the league. If things go our way, European football is still possible. We're just going to have to pick up a little bit more consistency. And, we've got a very, very good chance of going quite far in the FA Cup as well. So keep the faith. Bad day at the office of Wolves. Finishes 3-0. I think that performance and result probably flatters Newcastle slightly. But altogether, both teams, didn't play their best football. They didn't show their best football today. And also, 2 quick shout-outs. One for Wesley Okadua on the bench for Wolves, 15 years of age. I'd like to know what you lot were doing when you were 15. On the bench today for Wolves, had a very good season so far, breaking into the England youth setups. And Manny Singh as well. Amazing work for him this week with the charity stuff. I do feel sorry for him having to walk from Wolverhampton to Newcastle to see us get thrashed, but that's football, eh? But fair play to Manny. And yeah, guys, want to forget, if you managed to catch it, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys very, very soon.